right, recording in progress, which for me, the body of suffering that Eckhart Tolle speaks about is the same as in the Yoga Sutra, the kleshas, the source of suffering. We are not responsible of this body of suffering as individuals. We just inherit it from the long human past. I said politicians are very much responsible for it. I say also religious people who have very strict conception of their religion and believe only this religion is the good one are also responsible. And greedy people, those who want money and possessions above all, they're also responsible for it. So we cannot hope that the world will be different that it is now, unless there is a dramatic change in the human mind. And I don't think so far anything has brought about this change. Only individuals have changed because of life. Life has taken them, has taken us, I hope for you, all of you, to a point when we have understood the vanity of such circumstances. Sorry for the English. Sometimes I have to hesitate because the words is not my native tongue, so I have to wait for the words to come. So this capacity that some human beings have had in the past, some more than others actually, to go beyond the usual motivations of people in daily life, they have had some limited impact, very limited. And that's why I am, maybe you will consider I am pessimistic about it, but I think each one of us has to find his own way in the mess in which we are put. And the priority is not so much to remain alive, but to remain true to our deep understanding of life, that which motivates us to continue to live. And one of these motivations for sure is compassion, is cooperation, is help of others, is sharing. As I said, I think in the letter I sent through Iris. And we can do it only with respect to ourselves, because it starts with ourselves as individuals. You cannot kill yourself under the pretext that you have to help others as well. You first have to take care of yourself, your own life. This is, I think, what yoga teaches. When people comment on the first anga of the Ashtanga, the Yama, saying it is the way we have to behave with regard to others, it is not true. It starts with ourselves first. If there is violence within us, we cannot be without hate for other people at some times, given circumstances. So the only power we have actually is to be very alert, very watchful on our ways of thinking, feeling, acting, speaking. And maybe the most important is thinking, because we have inherited not only the body of suffering that has been created since the beginning of mankind, but we have inherited also a memory of the weakness of the human species in the beginning of times compared to the very wild and powerful animals around. And we have created strategies that now are at work, not against very monstrous animals endangering our lives, but we are using the same methods, the same weapons, or even much more sophisticated weapons to try to destroy other human beings, instead of seeing that this is endless. anytime we succeed in destroying a part of mankind, it creates hatred, enmity, and more conflict later on. I don't say that Israel is in a position now to create peace. It has probably to try to find to the end those who are responsible for these horrible events. But if we are within ourselves, each one of us, caught by this story, dramatical, by the emotional aspect of it, and we lose the calmness of our being and the lucidity of our intelligence, I don't think yoga has worked for us. So it's easy to say that from France. I understand that. But if I have an advice for each one of you as yoga teachers, is really to work on this. In spite of the tragedy, in spite of the torture and destructions of so-called innocents, babies and children, in spite of the hostages taken, we have to remain in what Patanjali calls sthiti. He says the first step of yoga is abhyasa, and abhyasa is the child to remain stable within, because if we lose our stability, then the body of suffering, the kleshas, take over. I told in the letter that for me, I don't know any other solution. If you are taken over by fear, or taken over by hate and anger, or taken over by any other deep feeling, you have to remain with the sensation in the body, not so much to go and express it outwardly, because then it perpetuates the havoc, but just to see how it is acting within yourself. That means, where do you feel things? It is in the body. The body is not you. You are not the body, but the body is the expression of the physical body. The body made of senses and sensations is the expression of a deeper body, or a subtler body, which is the way you think, the way you understand life. And if the present circumstances are taking you in a field of deep emotional upheaval, you have to learn to watch, as we can watch this light, these feelings. You have to listen to what the body says. I just use one small sound. I don't know if you heard it, it is still ringing, but the art of listening, this is what I want to bring us into. To listen to what is happening within us without preconceived opinions, without letting the past interfering with what is happening now, without judgments. Just to listen is the key word of any human being looking for a spiritual, in the sense of spirituality, a spiritual way of behaving and facing the difficulties. I don't know how you understand life. For me, it seems that what happens does not after all, if you consider the globality of things, the things that happen are not the responsibility of anyone in particular. The human beings, like the rest of the creatures of this world, are all part of a vast universe. And in the same way that the fate of any wave in the ocean is determined by the totality of the ocean, in the same way as human beings, our fate, what happens to us, is determined by everything that happens in the universe. The body of suffering I was mentioning before, that was created long ago, that we are holding within us without knowing it. The fights between nations or between religions or between economic powers, all this, human beings pretend that they are going to solve it. Especially politicians, they say, yes, yes, we know how to do it. But all this is much beyond the capacities of the human being, the human mind, even the human heart to solve. So unless we understand that, we'll continue to be lost in how can I say that? Hopes that have no foundations. So again, what I believe is really important is the sincerity with which we observe, and the sincerity and the quality of listening with which we observe our own way as individual of functioning, and see that we are not caught by the global madness of humankind, of human species, because I believe we are, all of us, at times mad. It depends on the circumstances, but the globality of human species is mad all the time. And this madness is the expression of something that has started long ago. But I am not going to go into that now, because that will be too complicated, and maybe it is not the time to try to understand or see the deep causes of human madness. I have not thought ahead or before what I was going to say, and I feel that now I'm speaking as not a yoga teacher, but as a human being. I must say I don't see any quick solution to the mess in which you all are caught, for very many different reasons. So again, what I feel is that you can only, for the time being, save yourself, not in the sense of saving your life, maybe, I hope so, but saving your integrity as human beings. Fear will be there. As one of my teachers said, Richard Moss, he said, we have to learn how to become disciples of fear, disciples of grief. That means any situation in which we find ourselves that the reaction would be to say, no, it's not possible, I don't want of that, is the most important moment in our lives. As women, I don't see any men here, maybe there are some, but as women, and especially if you have been mothers, you all know that suffering is unescapable, except now the medical science has made the birth process less painful. But as women, you know how painful life can be physically in these circumstances when you give life. This is a kind of important message of life. Anything important, anything capital in life will create some form of suffering, a passage that you have to go through to grow in consciousness, to become less slave of false solutions. Religion has been a false solution. Politics is definitively a false solution. Any ideology is a false solution. And if I go to the end of my understanding, any process of identification is a wrong solution. This is the teaching of Patanjali, is the teaching of the Buddha also. The moment you identify to anything, and including your own personality, you have lost the deep sense of whom you are. You are not the body, you are not the thinking process, you are not the memory, you are not the different aspects of your life with which you identify yourself. You are this field of consciousness which is the witness of everything that happens. And I will not say more about that because each one of you has to delve deeply to find out whether this is just an idea or whether it is true. But the process of what India called neti neti, not this, not that, is an interesting process to try to discover whom we are. You know, when you see your hand, my hand, obviously it is your hand, but you are not the hand because the hand is an object in the field of consciousness. So you can say, okay, the hand and the body are just objects in the field of consciousness. They are not me, since I am the witness of the body. When you see the emotions that rise from the sides of terrors, horrors around you, the emotions and the horrors outside you are objects of perception. All sensations are objects of perception, objects, not subjects. So you can understand that any emotion is not you. You are the witness of the emotion. Now, the thinking process, whether your thoughts are completely erratic or whether you have a very clean lines of thinking, in any case, the thought that is being thought in your mind just now, and the mind as its totality also, is perceived. You can be witness, you are the witness of any thoughts and the totality of the mind, like during the night, not during deep sleep, but during the part of life when you dream. The dream cannot be you, since something of you can see the dream if you are half awake during the dream, or remember the dream afterwards. So it is an object of perception. It cannot be the subject. And so like that, you come to a point, the memories, the past. When past comes in the present, in your mind, it's only images or feelings, again, that are perceived. So they cannot be the subject of perception. They are only objects. So in this process, you can come, you cannot say within, because it's neither within nor without, but you can come to a space in which you find deep peace in spite of what happens outside. I don't say I am in this state all the time. I just say I have been in that state several times, very often. I know it exists, and I hope that each one of you, if it is not yet the case, will find this inner space. I think I have said what I can say. So I am listening to your comments or your questions. I will listen attentively to what you say. So you have to put your mic.
מי שרוצה לדבר, פשוט שיפתח את המיקרופון וידבר. אם יש לכם שאלות, משהו לחלוק.
אני קודם רוצה להגיד ממש, מרסי, תודה, פרנסואה. זה היה כל כך יפה. It was so important and so very accurate. And we need to hear this message. It was very clear. So thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
This message, you can hear it. But people who are in pain because they have lost people or they have seen horrible things, it is not a message you can tell them. You have to take care of them like you take care of small infants with babies. You know, you just have to give your warmth and your compassion to them. This message is not for them, it is for you as yoga teachers.
I have questions about the karma. You said at the beginning that politicians are it's not the low karma. Something about this. Can you explain more?
I am sorry,
about
I didn't get the question. Can you tell it
about
again?
The law of karma? You said something at the beginning. Can you say something more about it? The karma, the laws of karma, the universe.
The laws of karma. Okay.
Yes.
How do it's
I
difficult
mean, in this matter,
to remember exactly what I said. The karma is not something that should be thought of as individual. The story of mankind is the story of a psychic failure of the human species from the beginning. What I mean by failure is that we have not been able to accept our fragility. We have thought that we have to fight to win. So politicians fight to win, to be elected, and then they fight opposites. Religious people of a very narrow-minded setup fights over other religions, saying we are the only right ones, the one who knows what is right religion, and so on. So this psychic failure is the human karma. It is our karma of all human beings on this planet, except for those who have worked upon themselves to discover that their deep, real nature is not that what I just described with the neti-neti process. It is not the body, it is not the mind, it is not the past, it is not what to which we are identified. It is a space of consciousness which is everlastingly peaceful. This is what I can say because I don't remember exactly what I said at the moment when I said it. Sorry.
Maybe I will ask something that came to my mind. First, I
Yes.
also want to say so much thank you for coming and speaking to us. It is
Yes,
really
Anna.
feel
You have a
okay.
question?
Yes, when you were speaking about the madness around us and like to try not to be caught in it and like this, then what came to my mind is these ideas of the outside world as reflection to our inner world, and like if we work on ourselves and making peace inside us, then maybe we will experience more peace around us. Then I just want to ask if how do you see it?
I say that if you discover peace within, even if the world outside is being destroyed, because the peace within will not guarantee the peace outside. There is an interconnection, but the interconnection is not such as a group of people even having discovered peace within will change the majority of people, because the majority of people is still within this psychic madness that belongs to humanity since its beginnings. So that's why it is one very wise man, Nisargadatta Maharaj, said, I tried to translate, you want to help the world, but you want to save the world. Save first yourself. This is the only possibility, because you cannot change other people. But if you discover peace within, the people that are close to you will be affected, but only those who are close to you. You are not going to affect people who have madness in another building or another house or another town. It is not so powerful like anger. If you are with angry people, you may very soon get angry yourself, because you will say within, they are stupid, these people, why are they angry? And then the anger grows in you. Huh? So if you are at peace, people who have met you will feel that peace, not right away, but soon. Soon the agitation or the anger that is within themselves will be pacified by your peace. That's true, but it stops to the immediate surroundings, unfortunately, it seems to me. This is my opinion. I cannot say with certitude, but this is what I feel.
I have a question.
Who is Karen? No? No, here.
Yes, first of all, thank you very much. And I feel like the last few days have been a little bit, I don't know, apathic. And I just wonder for you, what's the difference between being apathic and being in inner peace? Because we...
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
there is a big difference. Apathic means probably you are losing the taste for life. That means maybe, I don't know, it's a guess. You cannot accept what is happening because it goes against the way you think or you believe that things should be. So it makes your energy very low. Is it the case?
Yeah, definitely makes it very low.
So it's
it
the
comes in
beginning.
waves.
Huh? Sorry?
It comes and goes. It's waves. So.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like the beginning of a depression. But what you have to do, according to me, is just to let it be, just to be in touch with what you feel. If you feel apathetic, be apathetic completely. It's like chocolate. You want to eat chocolate and you say, no, I don't want, because it's bad for health. So it will grow in you as a fight, and one moment or the other will eat chocolate, and then you will feel guilty. If you feel apathetic, it's nothing wrong. It is, according to yoga, tamas that is taking over rajas and sattva. Welcome, tamas. Okay. If you need to sleep, sleep. If you just want to cut from the outside world and stay on your own, let it be. It will not last. It will last a few hours, maybe, or maybe a few days. But if you don't fight against it, things will come back to normal. The worst thing is to fight against oneself. And then if you fight against yourself, you are learning to fight against others as well. This is what I can say about that.
You know, Francois.
Yes, Iris.
In the last 5 days, 6 days, so many new feelings, new thoughts enters my mind, and it wasn't before. It's like a newcomer, as you said, welcoming it. But because it comes in a huge quantity, so it's like it's too much. It is like overwhelming, exploding.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying my best to minimize it, and to minimize it in a matter of before supporting in a lesson or before meeting my patient. I try to balance it in force here. I'm just really working on it.
Can you say a little more about the nature of these feelings and thoughts?
They're darker.
Sorry?
They're much darker.
Darker, yes.
Because I know that already, I mean, you know me already, but I mean, if for example, I look at this, I look at my life in so bright colors, so it completely changed, like a dye coming into this beautiful paint, and I just putting more and more dark dots, and it spread like a water colors.
Okay, I tell you a story. Jocelyn, my wife, is doing some private work with people, and with one lady, she guided her through a kind of focusing process. And at the end of it, that lady discovered herself in the pure light. Without, it was light. And it lasted. It lasted so much that when she came back home, she couldn't really anymore care about her grandchildren and the task of the family, because that had no meaning. So much the light was powerful. And it lasted. Slowly, it became less. Then she came with us to Brazil, when we went through the experience of the ritual ayahuasca with a shaman. And the light was still there, but she was expecting that through this shamanic experience, she will come back to the greater state of life, because it was so powerful, so delighting. And actually, she went through what you described. The light disappeared, and she fell into a very, very, very dark state. So the shaman, a lady, helped her long time, many hours actually, to help her to come out of it. And my belief is that the more bright you are at one moment for whichever reason, the more dark at one moment life will take you, because life is made of day and night, light and shade. And we have to experience both and not hold to one and refuse the other. This is one of the lessons most difficult to learn. But in life, to expect that things will always be right, beautiful, luminous, is not possible. The only place where it is possible is within the space of consciousness, which is not the historical me, the psychological me, the organic me, the virtual image of me that is created in order to function in this life. This is my feeling, my belief. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. So that's why also, in a way, both Buddhism and yoga are said to be the middle path. That means the extremes, they are very, one extreme is very awful and the other is very tempting, but the right path is to stay in the middle. That means the stability of not being desirous to have only joyful experiences. I think, well, I don't say any more about that. I say the most important things, I think.
Can I ask something also?
We speaking, yes?
Yes, my name is Tal.
Tal, yes.
Thank you for your words. It's very inspiring these days. And religious people, when they have hard times, they go to the Bible and seek help from this text, and they read over and over. And for us yoga practitioners, I'm finding myself browsing and trying to find the right text to look at. One very smart and intelligent yoga teacher, she mentioned Mahabharata and Ramayana, like going back to those war epics in order to find something and learn something from it. I don't know. I'm just putting it out here because I guess that like many of other yoga teachers in this time, we need something to look at and reflect into, and so much information is there, and maybe there is something within the yoga text that can
yes.
help us focus.
Well, I think Ramayana and Mahabharata will take you the whole life to read. It's the most gigantic written word of the human history. So just to stick on to the Bhagavad Gita, I think will be better. That is for ancient text. And one teacher that died not so long ago, but I think his message is very fundamental, is Jiddu Krishnamurti, that you can watch on YouTube also in English. And the other one that is also very clear, according to me, is Eckhart Tolle, which I mentioned earlier, which speaks also in English. So this could be of help to any yoga teacher who speaks English. And the Bhagavad Gita, I suppose, has been translated in Hebrew as well. So I hope it is a good translation. But the book is fundamental with respect to war. Because, well, I don't share all the views of the Bhagavad Gita, but you have to use your own intelligence when you read a book and see what touches you deep. That which does not touch you or revolts you in any text, you just drop it. You don't have to take everything. You have just to take that which enlightens you, that which helps you, that which gives more light to your understanding. And the rest you can just skip away.
If there are no more questions, we will say merci once again.
I hope very soon we will be able to meet in person. I don't know, no one on this earth can say when, but nobody on this earth can say how. But my heart is with each one of you and all the Israeli people with this long story of suffering. And I wish you all the best possible. With love.
Thank you very much, Francois. I will say something in Hebrew, I'm sorry, but it's not about you, it's about the next coming days. אז אני גם רוצה להגיד תודה רבה לאיריס על הקישור הזה, ולחיבור לפרנסואה, וגם מבקשת שתעקבו גם בדף הפייסבוק שלנו וגם באתר שלנו. יש לנו עמוד שאני מעדכנת אותו ממש מדי רבע שעה, והמון המון מידע, יש מלא הרצאות, יש הקלטה ממפגש שהיה אתמול, גם המפגש הזה יהיה שם מוקלט, אז פשוט תעקבו, יש הרבה מידע והכל חינמי והכל בשבילנו כלים להתמודד עם הימים האלה, ומאחלת לכם.
סליחה, איזה אתר זה?
אתר ארגון מורי היוגה בישראל.
תודה רבה.
אוקיי? וגם דף הפייסבוק של ארגון מורי היוגה בישראל.
אפשר רק עוד שאלה, הוא ציין כמה מורים ביוטיוב שמרצים בנושא הזה, אם תוכלו רק לכתוב את זה אולי בצ'אט באנגלית, כי קצת התרגום של לא כל כך הצלחתי לשמוע את השמות. נשמח רק לקישור.
קרישנה מורטי וטולה.
איריס, תוכלי לכתוב את זה בצ'אט?
כן, ומי שהגיע לא דרך הארגון יכול פשוט רגע לכתוב לאחד מאיתנו באופן פרטני, ונוכל לקשר אתכם פשוט לאתר, ויהיה לכם יותר קל וגם לפגוש את שאר המורים, או לפייסבוק. אני גם מנסה לאחוז יותר צ'פטרים יותר מסוימים, ופסקאות מפרנסואה, מאותם מקומות, כדי שיהיה מתוך השראה אולי אישית לכל האחרים. I just also want to thank François, you are so dear.
Thank you, Iris. It is due to your asking me that this has been possible. And I say goodbye to everyone.
Yes, I think also we should ask for thank you also for the association, Roni and Hani, and all the others that are supporting this. And sure. I think also for Shabbat, this Shabbat to be Shabbat with peace, Shalom, as we say. Shabbat with Shabbat im Shalom.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.